Today I'm wearing Tom Ford's Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation. Can a $150 foundation be worth it? Stay tuned. If you've been following my channel, I'm putting myself through a no-buy 6-month period where I'm not allowed to buy anything I already have in the category of makeup, skincare, clothing, accessories, shoes, and perfume. This process is giving me very good clarity on how frequently I would repurchase products in the same category. So like, rather than have one foundation or maybe 2 foundations, I think it's fine to have several foundations because different finishes work in different circumstances. But I had like 6 foundations and a lot of them are high end. And one of them is one of the most expensive makeup products I'm aware of, actually, this $150 foundation, and I wasn't even using it. So I bought this product pre-COVID. I had fallen in love with the traceless foundation stick that Tom Ford offers. I felt as though in the winter months, that particular stick was too dark to use. And so what I wanted to do was get a better match and repurchase the foundation stick. So I went into Nordstrom and I asked for help from the Tom Ford counter just to rematch me to see if I was using the best match possible. We found this color, Nude Ivory, and she grabbed a box and we checked out, and there were other things in my purchase. I did remember that the purchase was very high, but when I got home and opened up the box, I found not the Traceless Stick Foundation, but the Radiance, the Soft Radiance Foundation. And when I went back, because I didn't take a receipt, when I went into my Nordstrom app to just review my purchase, I realized what I had done. And I debated at that time if I should go back and exchange. This wasn't what I went to buy, and then I saw the price. The Traceless Stick Foundation was $86, which is already super high for a foundation, and this was $150. So I felt a little sick to my stomach, and I almost returned it, but then I decided to try it. And so when I used it, what I learned was this. The foundation itself comes out kind of normally. It's somewhat runny, but this is, number one, a really, really great match. This Nude Ivory 1-3 for my skin is an excellent match. Of all the foundations I've ever used, I think this is one of the best matches I have. My skin is kind of complicated. I have olive undertones, and then I also have a yellow sort of tone to my skin as well, and I really pick up color in the summer. So you can see as I'm blending this out, this color right now in my skin, which I just was out west and in the sun, so I did pick up a little color recently, it truly disappears into my skin tone. And I think that is great. That's like one of the major pluses. Not just, you can find a good match in lots of foundations. It doesn't have to be a $150 one, but I do have to say, I again appreciate Tom Ford for actually finding a color that works really well for me. It can be hard to find. I've struggled a lot, to be honest. The finish is a radiant finish, true to what it says. I am wearing underneath this foundation the NARS Radiance Primer, so there's additional radiance coming from that primer. In terms of how it applies, a thin layer is best. It's highly pigmented. I would say this can be a full coverage foundation. I find that when I apply a thick layer, I often feel like it emphasizes my texture. So what I like to do is to use a really good primer, usually one with some radiance like this NARS one, or even Clinique's Pep Start. I talk about that a lot on my channel. But I do think you can kind of see the finish here. I think this is a medium to full coverage foundation, and I do think for me, it can be quite beautiful. Here on camera, I feel like it provides a good look. I think this is an appropriate foundation if you are appearing on camera, or if you are someone who presents to large groups kind of at a distance. I think when you look at my face up close in person, I do think it looks obviously like makeup. So if I were meeting like a friend for coffee, it might feel like too much, maybe overkill for that type of setting. But for a really big work day when you're expecting to present or something like that, be in front of a lot of people and you want to feel confident, I feel like this could be a great foundation. I think it's nice that this foundation has an SPF of 50, although you should never rely on your makeup, of course, to provide your SPF. I do appreciate that level. I think this is a nice foundation. I'm really glad that it's in my arsenal, and I honestly will probably continue to shop Tom Ford for their foundations because I like the match so much. I find that with other foundations, sometimes I'll have to buy two and mix just to get the right color for me, and so then it's ultimately the same price.
Although arguably you'd be getting more if you had two bottles.
This is very expensive. I want to make that clear. I'm not stepping away from that at all. And for most people, this, number one, either isn't in your budget, or even if it is technically in your budget, you may not want to spend your makeup dollars here. If you like a casual lifestyle and more of a simple foundation finish, I would skip this one for sure. However, if you are in a position where you are in the public eye, either through presenting to large groups of people or appearing broadcast over a digital medium, I think it's worth considering, or at least looking into. I also think this one is dupeable. I've been testing out some deluxe samples that have come to me through makeup counters. Again, I've been on a no-buy, so I haven't been shopping, but I've been trying to see what else is out there. So for instance, I'm trying out a large sample size of NARS's Radiant foundation. I don't know exactly what the name of it is. I'll make sure it's on the screen. That's a very good foundation, and I think that if you can find a good match for yourself there, that might be a great dupe for this particular foundation. I've been using the color Mont Blanc in my sample, and I find that that's pretty close, but it's not quite as good a match as this particular tone is. There's something about this that's a little more gray and a little more neutral that for me is doing it for me. The Mont Blanc on my skin still comes out a little bit pink. It takes next to no pink for a foundation to read as super pink on me, but I also don't always look great in a yellow toned foundation. So this particular foundation, again, it's the match for me. For me, this is not an everyday foundation. In fact, I even stashed it away for a long time after I first opened it. I didn't want to get rid of it. I knew it was still a pretty... Okay, anyway, so I didn't want to get rid of it because I knew it was a good product and I knew the match was excellent, but I didn't feel like wearing it during the pandemic phase. I felt much more drawn to skin tints and other sort of lightweight, low coverage foundations. But now I can think of a few occasions for myself where this might be good. I wore this last night out to a fancy dinner with a friend. I'll show a picture of my final look there. One of our local restaurants that just won a James Beard Award, so that's kind of exciting. We had a good dinner there last night, and I found this makeup to be perfect for me. Again, I'm wearing it today right now, and I think it's great for filming. I do not see myself wearing this to go hang out with a friend, to go for like a walk or something like that, or to meet somebody for something simple. I feel like that might be overkill, but if you're in need of a very good glam ready foundation that you can apply a very thin layer of to your skin and still get good coverage, if that's something you're looking for, you might want to try this one out. Again, I think the major sticking point for most people is going to be that price point. If the price point isn't a major obstacle for you and you're anywhere near a Tom Ford counter, I would recommend going over and trying this one out. I think it's a beautiful product, and I'm glad I have it in my arsenal. That's the tea, everybody. It's also beautiful in your medicine cabinet, so if that's something that appeals to you, it certainly delivers on all of that. Anyway, that's all for this week. Everybody, I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all have a great week ahead. Thanks so much for watching. Talk soon.